Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Tori, I'm the Whimsical Goblin, and I run a small a small crochet business. Today's video is about what I've learned as a pattern tester this past year. I have my notes here, not close enough. I have been part of 52 Instagram tester call pattern tests. I have been reached out 4 different times to privately test something, and I have been part of over 20 plus Patreon pattern tests across the different ones that I'm part of, Discord too. So I think I've had the opportunity to learn a lot about pattern testing this year. I wanted to share with you my tried and true guidelines, and then I want to expose myself on some bad things that I did. So first and foremost, don't do it for a free pattern. I am guilty of that. Initially, my first 10 or so entries to pattern testing or applications, I was intrigued with the pattern. I wanted to learn how to do it. Lord child, hold on. She is needing love and affect. Oh, look at that love and affect. Look at she. Hey, baby. My first 10 or so applications for pattern testing that I did. Oh, please. Hold on. Oh, she's wanting cuddles. Oh, she's wrapping around my neck. We're just gonna talk like this now. It's fine. So my first 10 or so applications for pattern tests, I was just really intrigued with the pattern, new to the whole thing. I've been doing amigurumi for less than 2 months. And then I had a common acquaintance tell me, I can't remember where, if it was a private call or a Discord chat somewhere, that yeah, they do so many pattern tests because they get free patterns from it. And that sent me down the obsession of I must apply to all of them for free patterns, and it was no longer about helping out the quality of the pattern test. I have since then learned from that, and my goals now are: 1, is it a pattern writer that I enjoy? 2, is it a pattern that child, need a moment? Okay, where was I? Now when I consider applying for pattern tests, 1, does the look of the final product get me excited? If it is an exciting product to look at that I'm like, oh my God, I would love to make this, I would pay for this pattern, then I'm going to apply. Just if it's a pattern writer that I enjoy, I want to apply. I want to help contribute to my community in this manner, and the pattern is a bonus, but it's not always a guarantee. The pattern writer does not have to give you a final copy of this pattern that you're testing. You may only ever get the copy that you have edits all over, if even that. My second point, oh my God, her hair's in my eye now. I regret nothing. Second point is make sure you can do the pattern, and this is covered in a multitude of different ways. 1, do you have time to test this pattern? I have been a part of so many tester chats where there are people who wait to the very last day. I'm so sorry, I had so many other tester calls, my plate was loaded, this, that, and the other. If you are already swamped, don't apply. If you have applied to a bunch and you get picked for a bunch and now you're overwhelmed, the majority of the pattern testers, when they initiate their group chat, let me know if you still have time for this or if you can't continue. And if you don't want to do in a group chat, private message them. You will be making a bad name for yourself, which people do talk. You'll be making a bad name for yourself by being that last person who needs an extension, or the person who ghosts, or the person who just doesn't communicate at all and waits until the last day. Her hair is still in my eyeball. Hold on. why. So number one, make sure you can do it. Don't overcommit. As soon as you receive the pattern, review it. If it's too advanced for you, message the pattern writer and let them know. And y'all can discuss, do you want someone at my level to test this? Would it be better if I back out? These are all open discussions that do not harm. Over communicate is better than under communicate. Although, as a pattern writer, I don't need to know that your laundry is still wet on your ass. That's a little too much. But hey, life has overwhelmed me. I have to back out. Thank you for letting me know. I will adjust things accordingly. Same thing, if you are struggling with a part, communicate. Let them know, this part I don't get. I have tried, I have ripped, I have frogged. It just is not making sense to me. We are going to have all the sniffles. That's your drinking game today. How many sniffles? Or I just edit them all out. We'll see. Number 3, know the level of the pattern. Is it beginner, advanced beginner, beginner intermediate, intermediate, advanced? And know what you're capable of doing. That's part of reviewing the pattern as soon as you get it. Know what level it is. Because each different level is going to be tested a little differently. For beginners, you're going to want everything spelt out explicitly. For intermediates, you're assuming the person knows to stuff as they go, and the only thing that's going to need notation is if you have to stuff it differently, only fill halfway, or something like that. I have seen that with beginners, you'll get things like decrease versus invisible decrease, whereas with intermediates, it's assumed it's an invisible decrease. So know the level of the pattern that you're testing, and that's going to affect what feedback you're going to give. Please don't knock over the thing again, baby. The 4th one is know what your pattern tester wants from your pattern testing. No, I'm sorry. 4th is know what your pattern writer wants from your pattern testing. Generally, the ones that do an Instagram chat will tell you right off the bat, in their welcome bubble, what specifically they're wanting. Majority of them will have it in their open tester call of what they're looking for. And if you still don't know, ask. That is, I think, the common thread through here. Speak up, ask, advocate for yourself. Some pattern writers just want you to check the math. I've had some of those. Some pattern writers want you to decimate their pattern with edits for typos, consistency, formatting, math, and letting them know specifically where it goes wrong in any form of the sense. I've tested for the spectrum of that, and it all comes down to knowing what they want. I have made the mistake of not clarifying, and I have upset a pattern writer before by going in for the typos and the formatting when they didn't want that. Don't be me. Ask. Also, another thing to confirm is, are they wanting you to do just the pattern exactly as written, or are they wanting your interpretation of it? I have been a part of both. There are some that have put it in their rules, you are only to do the pattern as it is written, do not add on any extra details. And their reasoning for that is very solid. They, when they show the tester appreciation photos, they don't want people to assume what they're seeing in the photos is part of the pattern if it's not. Let's say you have a Mickey Mouse pattern and you decided to give it a bow tie just for a cute photo, but the bow tie is not in the pattern. That could be misleading for people who are seeing it on Instagram. Oh, I love this pattern, that bow tie is so cute. Buy the pattern, it's not there. Now they're mad at the pattern writer. Now, on the other side of that spectrum, I've had pattern writers who want to see what my interpretation of it is. Um, I have had them, feel free to use whatever color, whatever size hook, whatever fabric, whatever modifications. So, for example, one of mine, my stuffy actually, I wanted to see what people could make with it. So one of my friends who tested it for me, and then I added them to pattern. Please don't burn yourself, child. Okay. You want more cuddles? I got you, baby. I got you. There you go. Oh, she's needing more cuddles. For my stuffy pattern, two of my pattern testers, one made it like a skeleton octo, which was very cute and adorable, and it was good to know that that sort of design was possible with my pattern. Another one made it into a set of cherries, and that was very inventive. I liked seeing how it could be interpreted. It's a simple free pattern, so I'm not gonna have anyone mad at me, just saying. But know what they're wanting. And if it comes down to you asking, communicate, ask, our running theme here. Make sure you go through and you read all the directions, ask any clarifying questions. And if for some reason you cannot do this, whether it be it's too advanced for you, you now have a time crunch, you're overcommitted, the pattern writer and you are not vibing, if y'all's communication's like hitting a brick wall at each other, there's no problem with resigning. It's better to go ahead and resign and thank them for the opportunity than to be a struggle to work with. Also, when you are doing, knowing what your pattern writer wants, and usually that opening blurb, they will tell you, we're reviewing it on Canva, or pop your questions in the chat, or send me back your PDF or screenshots of the PDF. So many times I'm part of one where they say the comments they want on Canva, and people will flood the Instagram chat instead with the comments. One, that's harder to track. Canva, it keeps everything where you've put it. It's easy to go through and check. Flooding the comments in the chat, you gotta scroll for days to find anything. And then sometimes people are talking past each other. People are making the exact same comments because they didn't read the previous chat. Put it on Canva. I think that's my pet peeve. If the pattern writer wants you to put the comments on Canva, put it on Canva, please. So those are my tips for being a better tester, and what I've learned over the past year being a tester, with basically 70 plus pattern tests under my belt this year. Holy shit. Goddamn. So things that I have learned not to do, and I am so guilty of these. Pattern tester calls. I would do all the steps for applying, and then I would message the person going, hey, I applied, because I thought it would help me stick out. Then I learned as a pattern writer, that is it puts a pattern writer in a weird position. You are basically cornering them, and now you've made it an awkward atmosphere of, if they pick you, did they do it because you basically coerced them? I know that's a big jump from saying hi to coercing, but if they've asked you to apply in a certain way, then apply that specific way and don't do anything extra to that. Another one that I did, and I am so embarrassed by, and I try to steer people away from doing this, when you do not get the pattern tester call, do not tell the person, oh man, I didn't get it. I'm so bummed. I'm disappointed. What did I do wrong? What can I do better? it's generally not about that. As a pattern writer, what I've learned, I say pattern writer, there's only been 3 very simple patterns. Anyways, I digress. When I review for applications, one, I make sure they follow all the instructions that I put into my tester call. Because if they can't follow those instructions, why would I think that they'd be able to follow the pattern instructions? I will view their, if they followed all the instructions for the tester call. If they did, then I'll go review their work on their Instagram. You know, what's the quality of their photos like? And by quality of photos, I don't mean how fancy is their camera. I mean, is it cluttered? Is there excess things here? Did they do a sloppy photo? Is there like a price tag attached to it already? I just want a photo of just the item and maybe a staged background. But if you're holding it up in front of a cluttered coffee table, I don't want that picture in my pattern. I digress. I'm moving off again. So yeah, things that I did that I advise you don't do. After you apply, don't make it a point to tell a person you applied. If you did all the tester call instructions, they saw that you applied. And then don't tell them how bummed you are when you don't get it. Sometimes there are hundreds and hundreds of people who apply to a tester call and they're only looking for 6. Imagine if the other 294 people all told that pattern writer how bummed and disappointed they are. That's overwhelming. You are allowed to have your feelings. You're allowed, they're valid, all right? You are bummed. I get it. I am there a lot. But that's not the other person's responsibility. Keep that to yourself. Share that with your close friends if you wish. But deal with that on your own. Well, that was a lot of information. I hope you find it helpful. If you have any suggestions or tips to be a better pattern tester or pattern writer who does tester calls, leave that in the comment down below. Like, subscribe. We would love to have you here. And remember that you are loved no matter how you feel. Catch you next time. Bye.